He's not thinking about the woman who chased him. He's thinking about the one who left quietly, the one who never begged him to stay. If you've ever wondered why some women are impossible to forget while others fade in weeks, Carl Jung actually answered this question 100 years ago. And once you understand it, you'll never see love, or yourself, the same way again. In the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through the psychological concept behind why certain women leave a permanent mark on a man's inner world, and it has almost nothing to do with beauty, effort, or timing. Love doesn't start where you think it does. Most people assume connection is built through effort, texting first, being agreeable, remembering the little things, showing up consistently. And those things matter, don't get me wrong. But Jung's work points to something underneath all of that, something most people never stop to consider. Attraction often isn't a response to a person at all. It's a response to what that person represents. Jung called this archetypal projection, the idea that we don't always fall for someone because of who they literally are, but because of what they awaken in our unconscious mind. A feeling we can't name. A memory we didn't know we were carrying. An unfinished part of ourselves that suddenly feels seen. That's why a man can meet someone calm and self-possessed, someone who isn't performing or chasing his approval, and feel something he genuinely can't explain, because in that moment, she's not just a person to him. She's a mirror. And most of us have never been taught what to do when we suddenly see ourselves reflected back. This is also why chemistry can feel so disproportionate to how long you've actually known someone. It's not always about compatibility on paper. Sometimes it's about what's being stirred up underneath, something older than the relationship itself, something that existed in him long before he ever met her. Why detachment is more magnetic than effort. Here's the part that surprises people: the less someone performs for approval, the more unforgettable they tend to become. Psychologically, this tracks with a simple principle: people are drawn to what they can't fully predict or control. When someone is calm, self-contained, and not chasing validation, they become harder to categorize. And the mind, whether we like it or not, pays more attention to what it can't neatly explain than to what it already understands. This isn't about playing games or manufacturing distance on purpose. That's a strategy, and strategies almost always read as exactly that, eventually. People can feel the difference between someone who's genuinely at peace and someone who's performing peace to get a reaction. What actually creates this effect is someone who's secure enough that the outcome doesn't define her. Think about the difference between a person who needs a text back in 5 minutes or it means something, versus a person who's simply living her life and enjoying him as part of it, not the center of it. One creates pressure. The other creates space. And space, strangely, is what people lean into. It's counterintuitive, because we're taught that love requires constant reassurance, but often what draws someone in deeper is the quiet confidence that you'll be fine either way. The discomfort before the obsession. Something counterintuitive happens when a man meets someone who doesn't need him. It doesn't always feel good at first. Sometimes it feels unsettling, even irritating, in a way he can't quite justify. If someone has built their sense of value around being needed, being the protector, the fixer, the strong one in every relationship, meeting someone who doesn't require rescuing can feel disorienting. It removes the role he's used to playing. Jung would frame this as confronting an unintegrated part of the self. The parts of us we haven't developed yet tend to feel uncomfortable when they're reflected back at us by someone who already has. That discomfort is often misread, by both people, as disinterest. In reality, it's frequently the opposite. It's someone reacting to being unexpectedly seen in a place they weren't ready to be seen. This is worth sitting with, because it explains a pattern a lot of women experience and don't understand: the man who seemed the most into her being the one who suddenly went quiet. It's rarely about a lack of feeling. Often it's the opposite problem. Why some men pull away right when it gets real. This is the sign almost nobody explains correctly. Pulling away doesn't always mean loss of interest. Sometimes it means the exact opposite: the connection became real enough to be threatening. Jung's concept of individuation, the lifelong process of integrating the parts of ourselves we've avoided, suggests that deep emotional connection can force people to confront things about themselves they've spent years avoiding. Old wounds. Fear of abandonment. A version of intimacy they were never shown growing up. That's not comfortable material to sit with, so some people retreat, not from the other person, but from what that person is stirring up inside them. This reframe matters, because it changes the question from, "What's wrong with me?" to, "What did this connection activate in them?" A far more useful, and kinder, place to think from. It doesn't mean waiting around for someone to sort themselves out. But it does mean not internalizing their retreat as proof of unworthiness. Sometimes it was never about her at all. Why her memory doesn't fade even after time passes. Why her memory doesn't fade even after time passes. Here's the part that explains the "why can't I stop thinking about her" phenomenon that so many men experience and rarely talk about. Jung believed that what deeply moves us becomes symbolic, and symbols don't require someone's physical presence to keep functioning in the mind. That's why someone can go months, even years, still thinking about a person they didn't stay with. It's rarely about the person literally. It's about what that connection represented: freedom, authenticity, calm, a version of intimacy they hadn't experienced before and haven't found again since. The brain keeps returning to that feeling, using the memory of the person as the doorway back to it, even long after the door has closed. This is also why closure so often feels impossible to get from the other person. What someone is actually looking for isn't an explanation from them, it's an understanding of what the connection revealed in themselves. And no conversation can hand that over. It has to be worked out internally, usually much later, often alone. The real takeaway. If there's one thing worth taking from all of this, authenticity is not a strategy, but it is powerful. Not because it's designed to be magnetic, but because most people go through life performing versions of themselves to be chosen, softening opinions, chasing approval, shape-shifting to be whatever seems safest, and someone who isn't doing that stands out precisely because it's rare. If you've ever walked away from someone and wondered if it mattered, or worried that your calm was read as coldness, or that your boundaries were mistaken for indifference, the psychology here suggests the opposite is often true. The impact isn't always visible in the moment you leave. Sometimes it shows up later, in ways you never get to see and were never owed an explanation for. You don't need to try to be unforgettable. You need to stop abandoning yourself to be chosen. Everything else, the pull, the memory, the mark you leave, tends to follow from that on its own, without you having to force any of it. If this made you think of a moment in your own life, a time you left with dignity instead of begging to stay, or a connection you still don't fully understand, tell me about it in the comments. These stories help other people going through the exact same thing right now. And if you want more videos breaking down the psychology behind love, attachment, and why we're drawn to the people we're drawn to, subscribe Psyche Sync and turn on notifications, because next time we're going deeper into attachment styles and why some people run from love that's actually good for them.